Blessed be the name of the Lord. I'll give you thanks, Lord. You are just too good. Shout out to the Lord. Fight fans everywhere. Let's talk some boxing. So I'm about to say something again that the purists and the historians, initially when they hear my statement, they're going to be ticked off by it. But as you listen to the context, they're not going to have an answer for it. Manny Pacquiao, that's right, Manny Pacquiao is better than Sugar Ray Robinson. That's right, I'm going to say it again. Manny Pacquiao is better than Sugar Ray Robinson. I'm going to tick off a lot of people. But there's a context to what I'm saying. So before you get up and decide to get away from my channel and curse me out and stuff, listen through and hear me out. In terms of consistent, top-tier opposition, all right, that Manny Pacquiao faced consecutively as a world champion, Manny Pacquiao is better than Sugar Ray Robinson. In terms of how many welterweight championship fights he had at welterweight, his highest division, Manny Pacquiao is better than Sugar Ray Robinson. In terms of how many weight classes Manny Pacquiao managed to win championships in, Manny Pacquiao is better than Ray Robinson. So when I am speaking about Manny Pacquiao being better than Ray Robinson, I am not saying that Manny Pacquiao is better than Ray Robinson in totality. In terms of rounds gone and fought consistently in fights, Manny Pacquiao has fought more fights with more rounds than Sugar Ray Robinson in terms of each fight, how many rounds there were. That is to say, Manny Pacquiao has fought more 12-rounders than Ray Robinson has fought. But let me put it in a different context. Ray Robinson fought a lot of 10-rounders in his career. Let me just show you. You just have to look at his side, okay? So if you look at the sidebar right here, it says rounds. And I'm just going to scroll down. You'll see there are a lot of 10-rounders there. A lot of 10-rounders in his career. Some 8-rounders, a lot of 10-rounders. He's got a couple 15-rounders here because those are championship fights. Got some here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But you're mostly going to see 10-rounders. See? A couple 15-rounders, but mostly 10-rounders. Yeah. Mostly 10-rounders in this career. Right? Showing you. You got one 12-rounder here. 2 12-rounders, 3 12-rounders. Mostly 10-rounders, 8-rounders, 10-rounders, 6-rounders, 4-rounders. Right? You get this correct. Manny Pacquiao has fought more 12-rounders or longer rounders, longer fights, fights with more rounds in them than Sugar Ray Robinson. You can see they are mostly 12-rounders his entire career. Right? There's some 10-rounders here. Some 8-rounders and 6-rounders, but that's early in his career. Right? Okay. Now everybody likes to talk about, so we'll start off with the first point. Consistent, top-tier opposition, fight after fight. Sugar Ray Robinson, in his career, just like most of the old-timers, fought a lot of stay-busy fights. I'm going to show you, he starts off his career, of course he has 4-rounders and stuff, we don't really count that. Let's go until he reaches a 10-rounder, which will be, the first 10-rounder will be right here, which would be against Jimmy Tig, right? Jimmy Tig was a good fighter. This was a good 10-round fight. And he beat Jimmy Tig. And the first time he beat him, and being a boxer, he beat him even easier the second time, right? This was a good fight. This was a good fight, right? Now, once he got into 10-rounders, He faced Charlie Burns. Again, I'm not going to fault him because he hasn't won a championship, so I'm not going to talk about that until he becomes world champion, right? But this is, I mean, he's learning as he goes. He doesn't have as many fights as this guy. He's a very experienced guy. This is a better fighter in record, but we don't know if this was a better fighter overall. Obviously, he dispatched both of them very easily, which means they weren't really very good fighters. But another good fight. This is also another good fight. Very experienced guy. All right, it was an 8-rounder, however. That should tell you something. And then Victor Troyes. This was not a good fight. This guy was an experienced guy, yes, but this is a backward step. But again, the times they just fought whoever, right? This guy was inexperienced. All right. Mike Evans. He had a decent record. All right. This guy was also a decent record, so you can't say anything. And he faced a very experienced former champion in Sammy Anga. This was a very good fight, and you can see it's a 10-rounder. It went the distance for many reasons. Okay, Anga was knocked down in the second round, and you can see that the report was there. All right, he could never launch a sustained offensive against the dancing long-armed Negro, who hit it with darting jabs, whistling left hooks, and booming bowler punches. Rights that came from the floor to sink into Sonny's stomach. Anga barely won the third round, split the 8, and won the 9th. Robinson won the others. Right? And if you have ever watched Sugar Ray Robinson fight, he kind of reminds me of Sugar Shane Mosley, how he throws those looping shots. He would show a lot of looping body shots, and his shots would come from the ground up. Right? A lot of hooks, very looping. Okay? All right, he goes on to face Carl Jorginho, who's, again, a very experienced fighter. You can see he has a lot of fights. And he did pretty good when you look at how many fights he had. It was an 8-rounder because the guy is probably old, okay? So it's just for experience. Then he faces Maurice Arnold. Again, this is more of a journeyman kind of dude. But again, you get some experience from it. They're experienced fighters, right? Maxi Shapiro, very good fighter, former world champion. Knocked him down twice in the third round before the referee stops the fight. So he beats Maxi Shapiro. Marty Servo is a very, very good fighter. Very undefeated fighter, actually. Was a world champion and everything later on. And he beat him. Okay. Fritzy Zivic, again, former world champion. Okay. And he beat him. Fritzy Zivic is the guy that beat Henry Armstrong, right? And Fritzy Zivic, I think Sammy Anga as well. Fritzy Zivic, again, look at that. Look at that. All right. This time he stops him the second time around. So he has back-to-back fights. And no, very importantly, he does this within months, right? 3 months later, he's fighting this dude, and he stops him, okay? So these are if you look at his career before he became world champion, these are very, very good fights, okay? He's not even world champion. He's fighting these dudes, right? Maxi Berger, another very good fighter, and he stopped him in the second round, okay? Now, having said that, he fought these guys twice. He shouldn't be going back and fighting these guys again. And, of course, these guys are at the end of their career as well. All right? They're old guys. But he shouldn't be fighting these guys again, right? If I see these guys' names again, it's really going to annoy me, right? Anyway, he goes on. He faces this guy who should never have been in the ring with her, obviously. This guy, now, he's got a record. He's got some experience. So we got to give him that. He faces a debutante. It's a bit late for debutantes now, don't you think? Right? And he goes back and he faces Marty Servo yet again. Remember he faced Marty Servo before? He was undefeated and everything. Here. Why are you facing Marty Servo again? Why? Alright? He's facing him again. This time Marty Servo does better. Some people think that Marty Servo beat him. Kind of like a Castillo thing, I guess, with Floyd. I'm sure that Sugar Ray Robinson beat him. These are good fights, right? But why are you facing Sammy Anga again? I don't understand that part. So, he faced him again. Alright, anyway, we go on. Alright, it's a bit late now to be facing this kind of opposition, but these are stay busy fights. Clearly, he dispatches of them very quickly. And he faces Jake LaMotta. Alright, Jake LaMotta, very good. Again, this guy hasn't even become a world champion. He's facing these good fighters. Of course, this is early in their careers, Jake LaMotta's career, early in Jake LaMotta's career, so he didn't have a reputation or anything. It's a good fight. Then he faces Izzy Genazzo. You shouldn't have faced him. This is just a stay busy fight. Vic Delacurti, good fighter, but not on his level. And he faces Izzy Genazzo again. Why? This time he stops him, right? Now, again, note, 1 month away, 1 month away, he's facing these guys. So it's every month he's having to fight. So maybe that's the reason for numbers. Al Netlow, good fighter, stops him in 3. Jake LaMotta beats him, all right? California Jackie Wilson's a good fighter. He beats him. Jake LaMotta, he comes back. He beats Jake LaMotta, okay? Ferdy Cabral, probably shouldn't have been in the ring with him. Ralph Zanelli, he's a good fighter. Henry Armstrong's old. He beats him. Old Henry Armstrong. Izzy Genazzo, why is he facing this guy again? Right? You stopped him the first time. Why are you going? Lou Woods, very green fighter. Still carries him to 9 rounds, which is amazing. Vic Delacurti, I don't know why he's facing this guy. This guy shouldn't have even faced this guy. Notice also they're higher in weight class, alright? He faces Sheik Rangel, who he should never have faced. George Martin, he should have never faced. But it's all good. And Billy Ferrone, these are bigger fighters though. He's fighting at a higher weight class, alright? And then he faces Tommy Bell for the first time. Alright, Tommy Bell's an okay fighter. George Custner is an okay fighter. It just so happens he gets knocked out twice. Alright? Jake LaMotta, good fighter. Faced him again. Jose Basora is a very, very good fighter. This guy is very, very good, and that's why they drew. Jimmy McDaniels, nah. Jimmy Mandel shouldn't have faced him. Jake LaMotta again. Vic Delacurti again. Dave Clark. I don't know why he's facing this guy. He's very green. Tony Rosillo. And so you get my point. This guy shouldn't have been in the ring with him, even though he has a good resume. O'Neal Bell shouldn't have been in the ring with him. Cliff Beckett shouldn't have been in the ring with him. Sammy Angut again. Izzy Genazzo again. I don't know why he's facing Izzy Genazzo all the time. Was he run out of people to fight? Freddie Flores should never have been in the ring with him. Freddie Wilson should never have been in the ring with him. Norman Rubio, okay, it's a good fighter. Joe Curcio, got a good record, so I can't say nothing. Vinny Vines, Sidney Miller should never have been in the ring with him. Ozzie Harris should never have been in the ring with him. Cecil Husson, that's a good fighter. It's an okay fighter. Not great. They're not great fighters. They're like guys like I'll tell you what they're like. They're like when Floyd Mayweather was early in his career, he was facing some good fighters like faced a guy Tony forgot what his surname is. Just before he faced Gennaro Hernandez. So some of these guys are step-ups like that. They're not great. They won't beat you. But they're alright. They give you a little bit of work, Artie Levine was the other guy he faced. He received $12,500 for it. Sugar was almost KO'd in the 4th round. Left hook followed by right cross to the chin, put him down, and almost out. Sugar arose unsteadily, called upon his ring skill and stamina to last out the round. He had several other close calls during the course of the evening. Artie's left hooks and resounding right crosses occasionally found their marks with telling effect. Robinson's class and body punching were taking a toll from the heavier Levine as the bout progressed. He started the 10th with knockout intent. With the round almost 2 minutes gone, he paralyzed Artie with a right to the solar plexus. Then Sugar became a killer, throwing punches with reckless abandon to both head and body, with the result that Artie was beaten to the floor. That was a good-ass fight. Alright? And Artie Levine, was catching him with left hooks all the time. Left hook, right cross. Which is very good. So that was that fight, which was a good fight. So that prepared him for the championship fight with Tommy Bell. He would face Tommy Bell. Tommy Bell was dropped in the 11th, and he beat up Tommy Bell's ass in the 12th. the 13th or 14th rounds, Tommy came back, and we don't know what happened in the 15th round. This was a good ass fight, obviously, and it was made entertaining. Tommy Bell's wasn't the greatest boxer in the world, but again, exciting fight and tactical fight, right? Now, he becomes world champion here, all right? He's fought some really good competition coming up. He had some stay busy fights and stuff, right? Now, once you become world champion, you can't move backwards into stay busy fights, in my opinion. And this is where I think Manny Pacquiao just soars above Sugar Ray Robinson. It's all good. It doesn't matter what you do before you become world champion, because in my opinion, you could have fought blokes. That's why Rocky Marciano, before he became world champion, you couldn't really knock him. It's now after you become world champion, which means you're on a certain level, we really judge you. That's where the real fighting at the top tier really happens. Now, one of the cool things about what Sugar Ray Robinson did was he fought some top tier guys at high weight class before he became world champion. So he was being prepared for that. Some pretty good fighters. Now, again, they're not the top of the top of the top of the heap, like the number one contender or, the very best. He wasn't really facing them at the time, even though Tommy Bell ended up being one of the number one contenders that Sugar Ray Robinson faced, because Marty Servo, who Sugar Ray Robinson had beat before, became world champion, right? And he did not want to give Sugar Ray Robinson the chance to become world champion, right? Because he knew he was going to get his ass beat, right? So Tommy Bell, anyway, gets a chance, and Sugar Ray Robinson. And one of the things about back in the day, which I found was very sad, was it was kind of at the discretion of the champion to allow you to have a shot at the championship. So it's really amazing today when people talk about, with the Dillian White situation, Deontay Wilder, they're blocking Dillian White from getting his mandatory chance to become champion. Back in the day, if this was back in the day, Dillian White had no say. He had to hope that the champion would give him a bribe. Even Floyd Mayweather, back in 1998, I think it was, he got a chance to become a world champion by facing Genaro Hernandez. It's really Hernandez that gave him the opportunity. As much as he was in position for it, it was really up to Hernandez if he wanted to fight him or not. And Chicanito said, gave him the opportunity, which is why Floyd was forever grateful to Genaro Hernandez and his family and their foundation. I think Genaro Hernandez died of pancreatic cancer as well, which is what my mom died of. But my point being, anyway, once you become world champion, we got to see consistent top-tier opposition from you. Okay, you're a young world champion, I give you a bribe of 1 or 2 fights. But after that, you're supposed to be able to face top-tier opposition after that. So Sugar Ray Robinson's regimen was ridiculous. I mean, you look at every month, or sometimes every day, every other day, he was facing people. So look at this. He faced Bernie Miller, who we already know Bernie Miller was not no top tier nothing, right? This was a stay busy fight. No matter what Bernie Miller's record tells you, he was a stay busy fight. We already saw him face Freddie Wilson, right, before. Freddie Wilson obviously is not a top tier opponent. This was a stay busy fight. So after he had faced Tommy Bell, which was a pretty tough fight, he took 2 stay busy fights. Now notice, he was fighting every month. So after he beat Tommy Bell, which was in 1946, December of 1946, 3 months later, he faces a stay busy fight, which is Bernie Miller. And then 1 month later, he faces Freddie Wilson. And then just a couple days later, 5 days later, he faces Eddie Finazzo. So it's not like he's taking a long time to face these stay busy fights. These are stay busy fights in between. This would be what we equivalent to sparring. That guys spar. Because these guys are not tough competition at all. So that's the thing that I think a lot of these old timers don't get. All these old timers are like, if they kept this regimen. And remember, he's not, unless it's a championship fight, he's not really fighting 15 rounders. He's fighting 10 rounders. They don't even last 10 rounds. So it doesn't really matter, but 10 rounds. Now here is where he really faces good competition. He faces Georgie Abrams here. Now you can see also that another thing is he's staying busy so that he can go down in weight. He faces a very good competitor in Georgie Abrams. He only has one fight with Georgie Abrams in his career. And that one fight with Georgie Abrams was incredible. In fact, this is the funny thing. You know, people talk about Floyd Mayweather when he faced Marcos Maidana, and after that first fight, you know, some people were booing Floyd. Well, guess what? The verdict for Robinson was accompanied by a solid round of boos. World Boxing, February 1995. So, they just barely gave the fight to Sugar Ray Robinson. He never faces Georgie Abrams again in his career. That one fight was good enough. Anyone coming back to see Georgie Abrams, right? Floyd Mayweather, anytime he had a fight that was close, he rematched the dude. That was amazing. I'm just going to go through this because to me this is amazing. It's amazing that he didn't look for that rematch. He never rematched this dude. You can go ahead and look through his whole entire file. And here's the funny thing. He was giving rematches to Tommy Bell, you know, Marty Servo, all those other guys. But when it came to Georgie Abrams, he was not going to give him a rematch. Wasn't going to give him a rematch. All right? And you guys need to go do your homework on Georgie Abrams. Because he was a good fighter. All right. Anyway, so what happens is this fight is done a month after Eddie Finazzo, who these are all stay busy fights. Okay, so he basically from his fight in December, he has a fight 5 months later, and it's a good fight against Georgie Abrams. So if you understand what I'm saying, he could have just skipped all these guys here and just faced Georgie Abrams, right? He can spar them, whatever, and they get some money. And he would have just fought Georgie Abrams. That's what the modern day boxer would do. Now, after facing Georgie Abrams and bringing down his weight some, then he goes on to face a very good fighter in Jimmy Doyle. Alright? Knocks him out, beats him. Okay? Jimmy Doyle gets beaten. And that's a very good fighter. Jimmy Doyle was a good fighter. Alright? He wasn't. I think this is the guy he killed. I'm not too sure. But Jimmy Doyle was a good fighter anyway. But after facing Jimmy Doyle, okay, and this is just a month later, he goes on to face 2 months later a stay busy fight, another stay busy fight. And but notice this is 8 days away from the other one, and then he faces a real contender 4 months later. If you notice, 4 months later, 2 months later from that, he faces California Jackie Wilson, who's a good fighter. All right, he's not great. California Jackie Wilson is like equivalent of what kind of fighter? He's ranked, but he's not the greatest thing since sliced bread. Okay, let's just put it that way. He's a good fighter. He got stopped in the 7th round, and then he goes on again to do some stay busy fights. Don't watch the records now. Just look at how these guys get knocked out and stuff. Billy Nixon. Billy Nixon was ranked, I believe, but he wasn't really a fantastic fighter. This was 2 months later, again a stay busy fight, before he has his championship fight with Chuck Taylor, who I don't even know why Chuck Taylor was there, because Chuck Taylor didn't deserve that fight. Alright? After that, he goes on to have a couple stay busy fights. So 3 months later, he faces Ozzie Harris, and then he faces, this is not a stay busy fight, Henry Brim. Okay? 3 months later, so it's basically, you skip Ozzie Harris, it's just a warm-up fight for Henry Brim, right? Now, for some reason, this fight went the distance. All right, I don't know why. I don't know what happened. But Henry Brim is a tough fighter. All right? And he faced Henry Brim in his career, I think, 2 or 3 times. Okay? He never had a break. He goes on to face a good fighter in Bernard Ducosin. And it goes 15 rounds. I don't think he expected it. In fact, it's a championship fight, actually, as you can see here. All right? Then he goes on to face Kid Gavilan, who's again a good fighter, Cuban boxer, etc. Now, when I say Kid Gavilan was a good fighter, don't get it twisted. Kid Gavilan was a good fighter, but he wasn't one of the greatest. I wouldn't consider him the greatest Cuban boxer. So some of these fighters, he rematched Kid Gavilan later on for the championship. But my point being, some of these fighters, Kid Gavilan had a decent defense, right? Some of these fighters, you'll see him rematch, and some of the fighters, he can fight him once, and that's it. It tells you a lot about him. But more importantly, he faced Kid Gavilan 3 months after he faced Bernard DeCosin. All right, these are real fights. Okay, these are real fights. Ozzie Harris is not supposed to be a real fight, but it turned out to be a real fight. All right, supposed to have been a stay busy. Okay, let's keep it moving. He went on to face a fighter named Bobby Lee. All right, I don't know why it went 10 rounds, but he should not have. He should not have had so much difficulty with Bobby Lee. Maybe Bobby Lee was just a tough customer. He didn't get him out of there. And then he faced Young Gene Buffalo, very experienced fighter, but clearly not in his class. And so again, these fighters are sort of like I said before, they're kind of like they're good, but they're not top tier. So this is not a top tier fight, obviously. All right, so I don't know. This is like you can consider this a stay busy fight as well. Then he faces Henry Brim, and let me just say, Henry Brim worked this dude. All right. Henry Brim is a fighter that Sugar Ray Robinson throughout his career, again, had difficulty with. I'm surprised he rematched him. All right, but he did. Then he faces Bobby Lee again. I don't know why. This is a stay busy fight. And then he faces Don Lee, which is another stay busy fight. Then he faces Earl Turner, who, guess what, is another stay busy fight. Then he faces Freddie Flores, another stay busy fight. And then he faces Cecil Hudson, who is a good fighter, but at this level, as a world champion, shouldn't really be facing that dude. So you can see what's happening. I'm going to go all the way through this welterweight division to show you guys what I'm talking about at length. Then he finally faced Kid Gavilan for a World Welterweight Championship fight. And Gavilan was boxing his ass and busted his eye and stuff like that, right? Good fight. After he faced that, he had a win over a guy called Steve Belwa. Steve Belwa was preparing for the middleweight championship, so he was trying to become a middleweight champion now. And Steve Belwa was a very good fighter. Very good fighter. And the fact that he got a victory over Steve Belwa, kudos to him, right? Stay busy fight, stay busy fight, stay busy fight. And Don Lee he has faced before, and Charlie Dudson, right? And he faced Vern Lester. So it's just a lot of stay busy fights here. George LaRova, Al Mobley, Johnny Doodley. He's just giving people chances. Aaron Wade. Ja Walzak was not a stay busy fight. Okay. George Costner was not supposed to be a stay busy fight, but it ended up being that. And Cliff Beckett again. Alright. These are all stay busy fights here. This is not a stay busy fight. So even though he had a lot of regular fights here, and some very close together, days apart, they weren't they were just to keep him sharp. And he faced Ray Barnes, again another stay busy fight. And it went 10 rounds though. And then Robert Villamain was a good fighter. And they fought for the middleweight title, the state middleweight title. Charlie Fusuri I think this was his last welterweight fight. Okay. He fought Charlie Fusuri. Charlie Fusuri was not any. If you have seen Charlie Fusuri box, he wasn't anything special, but it is what it is, right? So let me show you something. So in terms of welterweight championship fights, he had one. Before I go on to middleweight for a second, he had 1, 2 with Kid Gavilan, 3 with Chuck Taylor, 4 with Jimmy Doyle, 5 with Tommy Bell. There's another one somewhere in there. I think it was 6 of them. There it is. And 6 with Bernard DeCosin. Okay? So he had 6 welterweight championship fights. So people say, oh, he was undefeated as a welterweight champion. Yeah. But he only had 6 championship fights at welterweight. Alright? And the guys he had them against, not extremely impressive guys. He had a good fight with Tommy Bell. Tommy Bell, you just look at Tommy Bell's career after that fight. Let me show you. So I'm analyzing things very deeply right now. So if you look at Tommy Bell's, oh man, they did me that. They didn't. You guys are just something else, man. Really? All right. So if you examine Tommy Bell's career after facing Sugar Ray Robinson, that's the high point of his career, 1946, right? It's Tommy Bell. So he faced Ray Robinson, 1946. All right, so he faced Sugar Ray Robinson in 1946 here. Now, before he faced Sugar Ray Robinson, he did all right. But after, you can clearly see he lost to Jake LaMotta, Cecil Huston. He lost to Steve Bellois, Buster Taylor, Kid Gavilan. Some guy who I don't even know knocked him out. California Jackie Wilson beat his ass. Everybody was beating his ass, right? People I don't even know what their names are. They're beating his ass, right? Look at that, okay? So I'm just saying, as much as people said he had a great fight with Sugar Ray Robinson and it made him legendary and stuff, if you really look at Tommy Bell's career, he wasn't nothing special. He wasn't nothing special at all. But he had the opportunity to face Sugar Ray Robinson. Good for him. And he had a decent account of himself. Right? But he really wouldn't be the guy you really want to face a vacant championship with. He wasn't top tier like that. Okay? So, him, Tommy Bell, Jimmy Doyle was a good fighter. He was a good fighter. No doubt about that. I think Ray Robinson killed him. So he didn't have a career after he faced Ray Robinson. That was it. He died in the ring. As you can clearly see. But he was a good fighter. He beat guys like Ralph Zanelli. Artie Levine beat his ass. But Artie Levine was a good fighter, though. Beat guys like Lou Jenkins. He beat Tommy Bell. Everybody beats Tommy Bell. Ralph Zanelli. He was a good fighter. See here. Yeah, so he was a good fighter. Early on in his career, he had gotten losses, but when he came into stride, he was beating some, some names, some guys up and coming guys. He was a good fighter. He got his ass killed in the ring, though. Is what it is. So anyway, we're going through this like with a fine-tuned comb. So yeah, Jimmy Doyle, there was another guy that he faced. Chuck Taylor, I don't know why he faced Chuck Taylor. Honestly, I just don't get it. I'm still trying to get why he faced Chuck Taylor. I looked at Chuck Taylor's career and everything, and I just don't get it. All right, I was 19. What was it? Faced Chuck Taylor in 1947. Right. This is Chuck Taylor's career. Make no mistake, Chuck Taylor is just nobody special. Not at all. He had a win over Tommy Bell way back in the early days. Okay? But after that, this dude didn't beat nobody. I don't even know how. I don't know how he ended up. Charlie Fasuri of all people, man. Charlie Fasuri was beating his ass. Right? I don't understand. But he got a chance at the champion. Chuck Taylor got a chance at the champion, and he did absolutely nothing with his career. Everybody was beating his ass. Bobby Dykes was a good fighter. All right? Everybody was beating his ass. I don't understand. Like, how do these guys get an opportunity sometimes? You know what I'm saying? Everybody was beating his ass. This guy was getting knocked out, beaten up. I mean, I don't even. How the hell did Chuck Taylor get a chance at the champion? Why did Sugar Ray Robinson? It makes no sense to me, man. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, Chuck Taylor. Wasn't nobody special. And then Bernard DeCosta was a good fighter. That was a good fighter. And he proves it after he fights Sugar Ray Robinson. It was a good fight. Very good fight. So that was, I give Sugar Ray Robinson all the credit in the world for beating Bernard DeCosta. That was a good fight. It went 15. You could see Bernard DeCosta was not no slouch. He was the real deal. And Sugar Ray Robinson beat him. Okay. Bernard DeCosta, he beat guys like he lost to Gene Burton, and rematch Gene Burton beat his ass. Okay. Sugar Ray Robinson rematched Bernard DeCosta a couple times, I think. But he made a good account of himself in that fight. Trying to find somebody of some name that you might know. Tippy Larkin. Ever heard of Tippy Larkin? Ralph Zanelli. Yeah, most people beat Ralph Zanelli. He also faced Joey Giambra. That was later on. That was to the end of his career. But he was a good fighter. I'm telling you, man. He was a good fighter. He's a good fighter. Yeah. Then he had another championship fight with Kid Gavilan. It's a good fight. Kid Gavilan's a good fighter. Gavilan's a good fighter. Right? You know, we don't need to go through Kid Gavilan, how many people he beat and all that shit. He was a good fighter, right? So that was a good fight as well. DeCosta and Kid Gavilan. And then he faced Charlie Fissuri. Charlie Fissuri was an okay fighter. He wasn't. I wouldn't call him special or spectacular. He was an alright fighter. Alright? He was an alright fighter. So there's some people he beat in his career, but I wouldn't say he was great, but he did for his time. He was alright. He ain't beat no names really particularly. Tippy Larkin's the only guy he probably has on his resume here that I can see right now, just looking at it. He had a loss against Rocky Graciano, who knocked him out in the 10th round. I'm saying he just lost a split decision to a guy called Patty Young, and then Sugar Ray Robinson comes and beats him on points. Yeah, and he was pretty much to the end of his career as well. So yeah, after that it was downhill for him. He just lost all the remaining fights. He just kind of lost. But so he was on the downswing when Sugar Ray Robinson actually faced him. But who cares? I mean, Sugar Ray Robinson faced him. Right, Jose Basora, I tell you, damn fine fighter. Even after he was KO'd by Sugar Ray Robinson, this motherfucker, I mean, he could fight. So I'm just gonna show you guys, just to show you just what he did after Sugar Ray Robinson beat his ass. Right, Jose Basora, good fighter, tall fighter. Okay, so Sugar Ray Robinson beat his ass here. I guess he was on the downswing because he started losing. He lost to everybody. I mean, he lost to everybody. But when he was really doing his thing, which is back here, so I guess he wasn't. I guess he was kind of. I mean, this guy faced a lot of really good fighters. That's why I'm telling you, Jose Basora, he was the goods, right? He faced guys like Kid Baby Chocolate. He faced guys like Holman Williams. Lost to Holman Williams. That was early on. Rematched Holman Williams, lost to him again. Jake LaMotta, he beat Jake LaMotta. Ezra Charles KO'd his ass. But he faced these kinds of dudes. Faced Holman Williams and got a win over Holman Williams. Lost to Jake LaMotta. Beat Fritzy Civic. Lost to Holman Williams again. They had this saga thing going on. They drew with Holman Williams. Drew with Sugar Ray Robinson, as we all know. This is when he was really in his thing. Jake LaMotta knocks his ass out. So yeah, he was a good fighter. I'm telling you, man. Had a win over Holman Williams. They had this saga thing going on, tit for tat. Knocked out Holman Williams. Shit. You know what I'm saying? He was a good fighter. He was a very good fighter. Had a draw with Henry Brim. Again, Henry Brim is a very good fighter. Beat Henry Brim. So I mean, when you look at this guy, he was really doing well. But yeah, to the end of his career, Sugar Ray Robinson beat his ass. You know what I mean? His last 2 years were not good years. I mean, anybody was beating his ass. You know what I'm saying? He got old, I guess. But it is what it is. This guy was a good fighter, very good fighter, Jose Basoro. You gotta give him his props. From Puerto Rican fighter, fucking good. Yeah. Anyway. So when Sugar Ray Robinson caught him, I guess he wasn't the same Basoro that he knew. And then he faced Billy Brown, was a stay busy fight. Joe Rindon was a stay busy fight. Bubba Olson, man, that was an incredible middleweight guy. And the first time he faced Bubba Olson, he knocks his ass out. And then he faces Bobby Dykes. Man. I can't tell you how much I enjoyed that fight with Bobby Dykes versus Sugar Ray Robinson. Bobby Dykes, man, could box. Now, he was a little bit repetitive in what he did, but he could box. That ninja could box. And he had Sugar Ray Robinson on the back foot for a lot of times in that fight. And, Bobby Dykes could box, man. He was a little bit repetitive, like I said, in what he was doing, but because of his length and range and everything, it was a good fight. Good-ass fight. You guys should go and watch it on film. It's a good fight. Oh, there's some earlier fights where I got with Sugar Ray Robinson at welterweight, too. And like I said, Sugar Ray Robinson was fast and everything, but he reminded me more. Shane Mosley reminds me of him. Shane Mosley's more compact and stocky, but Ray Robinson reminds me of Shane Mosley a lot. Alright? Yeah, and then after that, he has a stay busy fight with Sean Stuck, which is a couple days later. And then the following month, he faces Luke Van Dam. It was supposed to be an easy fight, but it turned out to be a controversial fight. And then he faces Jean Walzak. Alright, he was a good fighter. And Robert Villamain, who's another good fighter. He's a good fighter. I'm not gonna lie, he's a good fighter. And then he goes on to, again, do a stay busy fight with Hans Stretch, and then he faces the middleweight championship of the world. You can see it's a stay busy fight because you just look at the gap in time. So Robert Villamain was a good fight, and he fights Henry Stretch, and then he goes and faces Jake LaMotta. I guess these were supposed to be stay busy fights, and Villamain didn't turn out that way. Alright, so after that, he faces Holly Mims, who's a good fighter. Unfortunately, because they did not make the middleweight limits, this was not a middleweight championship fight. And this, of course, this is 2 months later. See, Mims, I told you, man. Let me show you guys Holly Mims, just so you guys can understand and appreciate what I'm talking about. The caliber of fighter this motherfucker was. Because he was a good boxer, man. Alright. Holly Mims, right? Holly Mims, and he always gave Sugar Ray Robinson a tough fight. I think he got him out of there once, I think. But he always gave Sugar Ray Robinson a tough fight. Alright, this motherfucker, he fought Jose Basoro. Retired his ass. It was in 1951, so, Jose Basoro was kind of on the downswing then. Alright. Faced Gene Burton. He's a good fighter. Then he faced Sugar Ray Robinson right after. 2 months later, okay? Right. Then he faced, there are a number of names I'm passing, but motherfucking Georgie Benton. He lost to Georgie Benton, man. Yeah, that motherfucker. He faced him. Then he faced, these are good fighters I'm talking about, man. He faced Bobby Dykes. Bobby Dykes is a good ass fighter. He drew with him. Rocky Castellini beat him. I don't really know. I never saw the fights. I can't tell you. But I gotta go look at some. Try to find some of those fights. He then faced. I'm telling you, man, a good ass fighter. He's a good ass fighter. All right. He lost to Bobby Boyd, but he's kind of old now. Joey Giardello beat him by split decision. Faced Georgie Benson and beat Georgie Benson's ass. That's amazing. Georgie Benson's a fucking good fighter. Faced Dick Tiger. This guy's old now. He's facing Dick Tiger. Dominant Dick Tiger. Henry Hank. You know, he got a win over Henry Hank. You know, this is some shit right here. This is legendary shit because the dude is old. Jimmy Beecham, right? Fuck, man. This dude. And this is after he was beaten by Sugar Ray Robinson. This motherfucker faced Emil freaking Griffith, man. You guys know these are legendary fighters I'm talking about. Didn't get stopped by him either. Emil Griffith faced Joey Archer, and he lost by split decision. This is in 1964. The dude's like a fossil by now. And this is just to show you how good this motherfucker was. Alright? Shit. Man. So, when we talk about Holly Mims, look, let me put it to you this way. If the public didn't favor Sugar Ray Robinson, this dude could easily, let me tell you a couple guys who easily could have been superstars back in that day, especially at middleweight. Fucking Charlie Burley, Holly fucking Mims, who was of course from Murderer's Row, fucking Holman Williams, Jose Basora, yeah, this motherfucker was his name. He fought Sugar Ray Robinson, but late in Sugar Ray Robinson's career. Ralph Jones, that motherfucker could fight. So I'm just saying, there were a lot of guys out there who, like, this guy, George Abrahams, right? There are a lot of guys out there that Sugar Ray Robinson could have fought, but he wasn't fucking with, period. Or he fucked with him once, and he was like, never me again. I ain't fucking with this dude again, right? And I'm saying all of this so people will understand that, you know, people talk about, you know, these old-time retro fighters didn't duck or dodge nobody. But there was people out there, man. And he did face, to his credit, he faced Holly Mims a number of times. But Holly Mims was a bad motherfucker, man. Was a bad motherfucker. All right? 5'7". You giving up 3 inches of height. Let's not even talk about how much reach you're giving up. And he still could beat this mother. He was giving this motherfucker a hard time every single fight. I would love to tell you his style of fighting. I think it's more like Sean Porter, but much more cleaner and stuff. As an inside fighter. Anyway, so Holly Mims, man. Alright? Holly Mims. And in between, once again, Stay Busy Fights. He had one every month. Boom, 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 boom. Alright? Then he faced Juan De Bruyne. And then Jean Walzak. He beat his ass before, so. This one was disqualified. This is the fight where he hit the guy in the kidney. It was a no contest. Cyril Dillon Winks. This was just one. He's touring the world, okay? And then he goes back and he faces a championship fight against Randy Turpin, who beats his ass. I can't even believe this. Look, y'all, everybody be praising Randy Turpin, right? Motherfuckers. Randy Turpin was shit, man. How did this guy even beat? Like, he's better than certain fighters, but I mean, come on, man. This is who Randy Turpin, after he beat Sugar Ray Robinson, should I go with it? It's a fucking European fighter. And no disrespect to European fighters, but come on, man. So he beat Sugar Ray Robinson. Sugar Ray Robinson was frustrated in the second fight. He finally got a combination. He got Randy Turpin out of there. This is who fucking Randy Turpin faced after that. Bubba Olsen annihilated his, beat his ass, right? Beat his ass. Look, see? Okay. And then this guy, who I don't even know who the fuck he is, knocked his ass out. See, this is what people don't know. Like, I'm like, Randy Turpin, great fighter. No. Once these guys were worth something, Handstretch was an okay fighter. Beats his ass. This dude, I don't even know who the hell he is, knocks his ass out. Okay? They're making Randy Turpin seem like he's this great guy because he beat Sugar Ray Robinson. Motherfucker shouldn't have beat Sugar Ray Robinson. Sugar Ray Robinson's supposed to be the boxer, man. He's supposed to be a fucking boxer. Randy Turpin be beating your ass. And you still don't have an answer. You like Deontay Wilder. You just relied on your right and your left and it bailed you out in the second fight. Alright? This is who Randy Turpin is, ladies and gentlemen. Alright? A fucking guy who was in England and got an opportunity of a lifetime, was up for the challenge, and outbucked Sugar Ray fucking Robinson. Made him look like a fool. And he was going to outbox him a second time. The Sugar Ray Robinson didn't pull a knockout out of his ass. You know what I'm saying? Do people understand? And all you got to do is go watch the fucking fights, man. Just go watch the fight. Go watch the fight. He'll tell you everything. Don't listen to what people are saying. Because those old fogies, no disrespect to them, they'll exaggerate things and they'll exaggerate things because they was mystified by what was going on. And their brain's not focusing. Their emotions are working. Their mind's not working. Now, let me just say, though, because a lot of people will think I'm bashing down Sugar Ray Robinson, but fuck no. Man was legendary. He was a fantastic boxer and everything. What I'm trying to say to people is, because some of y'all just jump on the bash wagon and start telling some really irrational shit. I listened to some of your comments on my channel, and I'm like, dude, I'm not saying that. You're taking it now to the nth degree. You know, like one guy was saying, all Sugar Ray Robinson was facing was flat-footed fighters. No disrespect to you, bro. But, no. He actually did face some guys who were light on their feet and stuff. Randy Turpin's one of them. Alright? So, yeah, he faced Bubba Olsen. Yeah, he's known for Rocky Graciano. That's because they come get you. So, what makes a fight exciting is when somebody's coming to get you and then you knock that motherfucker out. Obviously, it's going to be very exciting. That happened with, especially, let me tell you the real good fighters, but we won't get to that. But anyway, Bubba Olsen. This guy was a damn good fighter. Sugar Ray Robinson, however, had his number every single time. Bubba Olsen was a bad motherfucker, okay? Sugar Ray Robinson had his number down pat. He had beaten him time and time again. He knew how to beat him, right? And so that's why, no matter what. Now, the judging and the scoring was different to what we have today, as you can clearly see. But the point is, Sugar Ray Robinson, he did outbox the motherfucker. You can go and see it. It's on tape, all right? Rocky Graciano. Man. Rocky Graciano was another sort of titan in the business. He wasn't as successful as, say, Jake LaMotta. But he was a bad boy as well, okay? And you can see that Rocky Graciano, he knocked fucking Sugar Ray Robinson down on the ground, all right? It was a bull. It was a fucking, you know what I'm saying? So, after he manhandled Sugar Ray Robinson, Robinson was like, you know what, man, I'm retiring from boxing. And he left boxing for a little bit, got a challenge against Joey Maxim. And this is what I'm trying to tell you guys. They were talking about the heat of the day and all that bullshit. Fuck that. If it's so hot, you should be economical in how you box a dude. And a lot of people talk about how Sugar Ray Robinson, you bounce and you got to pivot and you settle down. If you know the day is hot, this is the difference between a Sugar Ray Robinson and a Floyd Mayweather, okay? And let me just say, Floyd Mayweather's leaps and bounds better than Sugar Ray Robinson. Fuck what y'all think, all right? Floyd, if it's very, very hot, motherfucking Floyd ain't gonna be moving around like that shit. Sugar Ray Robinson be dancing around the ring and moving on his toes all the time and fidgeting and all that nervous energy that Shane Mosley do too. That's bullshit. I'm gonna box your ass and be very economical in my punches, and I'll box you, and I'm gonna stay in the pocket, and you're gonna try and clinch up and then try and punch me at certain points in time. So I'm gonna make sure that don't happen. Sugar Ray Robinson burned his ass out. And what I loved about Joey Maxim, nobody was talking about. Joey Maxim was landing body punches throughout the fucking fight. Because guess what? Sugar Ray Robinson is very hittable. Floyd, you cannot land body shots on Floyd like that. You're not doing that. And it's a big fucking light heavyweight with heavy hands. Be pounding your body like that. You're supposed to shell up. So, and people would not notice that, Sugar Ray was throwing all those flashy combinations and Joey Maxson was sleek in a body punch. Boom, boom. 2 body punches in between Sugar Ray Robinson's flurries. And Sugar Ray Robinson, like, he fought so stupid. He'd be expending so much energy trying to knock out the dude and everything. And I'll be like, man, you look like Shane Mosley in there. So anyway, no disrespect to Sugar Ray Robinson. Y'all must think I'm bashing the dude, which I probably am doing right now. I didn't realize it. But there's a lot of shit that people say that gets me pissed. Like, it was the Heat that took out Sugar Ray Robinson. Fuck, you a world champion, man. Don't blame the fucking Heat. That's fucking excuses, man. And you diminish what Joey Maxson was doing because he was landing body punches on the motherfucker. That shit really pisses me off. In order to fulfill the myth that Sugar Ray Robinson's the best pound for pound ever, it was the Heat that beat him. Fuck you. Fuck you. He was winning every single round. Yeah, but you wasn't watching the work that Joey Maxson was putting in. Y'all denying Joey Maxson what he was doing. And then Joey Maxson decided to beat his ass. Round 12, I remember that. He beat his ass up. He was all funky moving at the time because he's landing them body punches. He invested to the body. He ain't going. Sugar Ray Robinson like Speedy Gonzalez compared to him. So what you got to do? You got to work the body, right? This is what Errol Spence will do to Mikey Garcia. Mikey Garcia is smaller. He's quicker. He's going to be faster. He's going to be more fidgety. So what does Errol Spence have to do? Work that motherfucking body, man. Work the body. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, yeah, so that's what's happening, and that's why Sugar Ray Robinson actually was beat down. They say it was because of heat frustration. Fuck that. Maybe it was hot, but you're a professional. You know what to do. You can fight in any conditions, right? That was not the reason. The reason was this motherfucker was getting body shots because he's trying to knock the dude out. He thinks his speed and his quickness is going to be enough. And the other guy was systematically, he was shelling up and stuff, doing what he had to do to ride the storm, and then he would just come back. Because guess what? Joey Maxson actually had better defense, and he was systematically walking down Sugar Ray Robinson the entire fight. So you get constant pressure on you. And a motherfucker be landing body shots all the time on you. Yeah, blame it on the Heat if you want, but the motherfucker was beating your ass. That's the truth. Alright? He was beating your ass. But you was looking all flashy. And he was moving around the ring too much. You know what I'm saying? Does anybody understand what I'm saying? Boxing is like a marathon. You can't start off fast. You're going to burn out to the end. Right? So you have to be economical. You've got to be calm. Another thing I noticed about Sugar Ray Robinson, fidget before he punch a punch. Throw a jab or whatever. And he always trying to throw everything with too much power. There was no subtlety to motherfucker. Motherfucker ain't tapping you, touch the body, touch the head. He ain't tapping you, he ain't just touch the body, touch the head. I just want to make sure I can reach you. There was none of that fucking shit. He'd just go gung-ho, hard jab, hard this. He'd give you a little feint every now and then, right? But he was textbook, but everything hard. And that's why I explained to Errol Spence, you can't be, just touch him to the body, touch him to the head. Touch him to the body. You don't have to go full-fledged to the body. Test it out first. That's one thing Gennady Golovkin used to do sometimes. He shadow punch and throw little feints and little punches. Fuck, man. Errol Spence, you can just throw a feint sometimes and just place the punch. You don't even have to throw all that power. Just place the fucking punch. Sergey Kovalev started getting that idea. How he knocked down Bernard Hopkins was reaction time. Because once you try to place a punch, you're going to be faster. When you try to rip a punch, you're going to be slower. That's just what it is. Right? So sometimes it's just about fucking placing the punch and not about just ripping punches all the time. Canelo, he does that all the time. He rips punches. Fucker, just calm down and just throw the punch. Watch it, Floyd. Floyd don't ever. Anytime he started to tense up in a fight, you hear his father say, hey man, you're too tense. You need to stay relaxed. You hear his father say that. Right? You got to be fucking relaxed to let it flow. That's when it has its biggest impact. You gotta be relaxed and let the organic shot flow through. Sometimes it's not fast, but it's heavy. Sometimes it's fast. You need that speed, that pop. I mean, oh, come on, man. How come I don't know shit about boxing? I really don't. And I know these shit. I could see this. I see them practice it all the time. How come these top tier boxers don't get that? I mean, you want knockouts, right? Okay. You know knockouts don't come from power. Power is not everything. Boxing is counterintuitive. Power is not everything. Speed is not everything. And you actually get faster the more relaxed you are. Just what it is. Anyway, man, he has a stay busy fight with Joe Ryder, and then he faces Ralph Tiger Jones. This motherfucker, he never faced him again. He never tried to face him again. I go watch the fight. You'll see what I'm talking about. Ralph Tiger Jones ate this man for breakfast. Body shots like mad. Ate him for breakfast. Then he faced Johnny Lombardo. It was a close fight. Of course, he's getting older now. Kudos to him, though, for taking on some fights. Rocky Castellini was a close fight. Castellini knocked his ass down. And then he faced Bobo Olsen for the championship, and he won it. And he rematched Bobo Olsen because they had a rematch clause, and he beat his ass again. Good for him. He had that one up on Bobo Olsen. And then he had a fight. I don't know if it was supposed to be stay busy or whatever. And he faced Gene fucking Fullmer. I would say the highlight of his career was beating Gene Fullmer. He beat Gene Fullmer once. And Gene Fullmer didn't see the shot coming. He set him up nice and good. Caught him with a left hook. Gene Fullmer ran into that left hook and just knocked the spark out of him. Forget about it. He wasn't coming back, right? And that's how he won the middleweight championship, I think, a third time, if I'm not mistaken. Or no, actually, he won it a third time because when he got beaten by Joey Maxim, he had he moved out of boxing for a bit and then he came back, right? So he won it a third time. It was the third time he won it, which is great. Kudos to him and everything. But I thought that this was his greatest win in his career against Gene Fullmer because Gene Fullmer used to get the better of him every single time. Motherfucker didn't know how to get past a high guard. Just didn't know how to do it. You know, Gene Fullmer was one of the first guys he ever saw using the high guard. And Gene Fullmer just walked the motherfucker down. He just walked to you and walked. You know, he didn't know how to go around. As much as he was a great hooker and everything, he hooked too wide. To catch a guy with the high guard, you got to have a quick, sharp hook. And no matter if you have it extended, it has to be quick and sharp to get around the guard. And you got to distract the guard. You got to be able to bring the guard down to hook a guy over it, or you got to bring the guard forward, or you got to bring it up to hook to the body. So he didn't know how to do that shit. Yeah, Sugar Ray Robinson did not know how to do that shit. So Gene Fullmer, because he'd never seen the guard like that. And Gene Fullmer used to beat everybody because of that. So when he could actually have gotten Gene Fullmer to come into him with the guard down, caught him with a left hook, knocked his ass out. I always looked at it and I was laughing how he set him up for that. And that was it. He never beat Gene Fullmer again. Went on to face a little welterweight that came up in mass, a.k.a. what my boy Mikey Garcia is going to try and do. And whooped his ass. Now, again, Sugar Ray Robinson was much older, but nonetheless, beat his ass. Sugar Ray Robinson tried to get Carmen Basilio out of there. I mean, Carmen Basilio's face was bloody and everything. Didn't matter. Carmen Basilio was just bringing the heat. Bringing the fucking heat. He brought the heat. And then you can see it was fight of the year. In the rematch, Carmen Basilio, again, came back. And Sugar Ray Robinson beat him by split decision. It was a close fight both times. And a very saddening fight. But to have a guy smaller than you, like Roberto Duran did, beat your ass like that, kudos to Carmen Basilio. Really, it just shows how good Carmen Basilio was. And he used to take shots, too. He was a tough motherfucker. He used to take it flush. Whap! He'd roll his head, though. He'd roll it, take some steam off it. But still, that motherfucker would be taking some punishment, man. But Carmen Basilio was he was a legendary boxer. Let me show you what happened after Sugar Ray Robinson beat Carmen Basilio. That was in 1958. This motherfucker was crazy, man. This motherfucker was great. Alright, so Sugar Ray Robinson beat him here. Alright? And he goes on to face Gene fucking Fullmer, which was not a good idea. And Fullmer pretty much probably wrecked him. because Gene Fullmer, man, Gene Fullmer beat everybody's ass. Everybody. He clean shot. Okay, Gene Fullmer was a bad motherfucker. Okay, and nobody could get used to his style. And yeah, so Gene Fullmer basically mopped the floor with him. He went 14 rounds with it and stopped him in the 14th, and then came and stopped him earlier in the 12th. I don't think he was ever the same after that, though. He went up against this motherfucker. Went up against Paul Pender after that. He was a determined little motherfucker. But yeah, his highlight was beating Sugar Ray Robinson, which he should never have done because he was such a small guy, right? You jump up from welterweight to middleweight, and so that's his claim to fame. And he used to get hit, so this motherfucker used to get hit. Okay, he won. He didn't have the greatest defense in the world, but it made for exciting fights though. Yeah, but Gene Fullmer was a bad motherfucker. In fact, I think he's an all-time great. I think he's a Hall of Famer. Period. He was a fucking wrecking ball, man. The dude, that's his style. Nobody was used to that style. You understand what I'm saying? You know, what I would have loved to have seen was Gene Fullmer against, what's his name? That Argentinian fighter, Carlos Monzon. I would have loved to see Gene Fullmer go up against Carlos Monzon. I think he did, though. I think he faced Carlos Monzon, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see. He might have faced Monzon. You know, I don't think so. This motherfucker was bad. Dick Tiger knocked his ass out. He actually had a draw with Dick Tiger. You believe this? Old Gene Fullmer against Dick Tiger. That motherfucker was terrible, man. He was a bad motherfucker, man. Look at this shit. He beat Peoples, man. He beat Peoples. I know this video is long and everything. He beat Rob Tiger Jones, okay? He was a bad motherfucker. He beat Rocky Castellini. He beat a lot of people. He beat Paul Pender. Shit. I thought he beat more people, man. Okay, whatever. He beat more people than that, though. I must be skipping some names here. He beat Castellini. He beat Rob Tiger Jones. It's a good fight. Sugar Ray Robinson. A couple times. Rob Tiger Jones. I thought he beat more people than that. He beat Carmen Basilio. Joey Giardello. He actually got a draw with Joey Giardello. Okay. Alright. Here's a Benny Kid Barrett, he beat him, and Dick Tiger beat him, and then he drew with Dick Tiger, and then Dick Tiger just put him to sleep. He retired him from boxing. But yeah, this boy was a bad boy. He was a bad boy. I thought he faced more guys than that. I thought he beat Bo Wilson and all those dudes. I thought so. I guess I was wrong. Yeah. Anyway, right. So after Carmen Basilio and all of that, he then faced Paul Pender. Honestly, I think they gave Paul Pender that fight because honestly, I thought Sugar Ray Robinson beat Paul Pender the first time. All right, that's the honest truth. Second time, I didn't watch the second time. Can't tell you. But anyway, yeah. So Gene Fullmer, he drew with Gene Fullmer, and then Gene Fullmer beat him again, right? And then we had some younger fighters. So he had to stay busy fight with Will Reeves. Then he faced this young up-and-coming fighter, Danny Moyer, and he actually got a win over him, which was amazing. And then he just had some stay busy fights here. And then he faced Danny Moyer again. He lost to him. Some guy named Bobby Lee. And then he went on to face, and it was actually in Trinidad. Amazingly, he's touring the world. And he faced Bobby Lee in my country. And then he faced Phil Moyer. And then, you just get beat by everybody now. He's just a beaten bad. So he started facing guys who were not really top tier competition, as you can see right there. Tried to face Joey Giardello, he lost to him, so on and so on. So this is basically the end of his career. He's just boxing people. I mean, it didn't really matter. It wasn't. These are not top tier opposition in any way, shape, or form. He did face Joey Archer, and he lost to him. Yeah. Anybody he lost to, Well, they weren't even top tier. This guy wasn't top tier. This guy was inexperienced and everything. He still beat him. Right? Stan Harrington beat him and so on. But he was touring the world and stuff and touring the country. This is where his legacy kind of built up. Sugar Ray Robinson's legacy kind of built up touring the country and that kind of shit. Yeah. And he used to actually train people in boxing and stuff. And he had little organizations and stuff he used to do. He's a nice guy. Really nice guy. Alright, so that was Sugar Ray Robinson's resume. As you can see very clearly, my point being made very strongly, even though this is a very long video. Sugar Ray Robinson had championship fights and then he would have stay busy fights in between. Right? And some of those stay busy fights turned out to be tough fights for him. Right? He did have regular stay busy fights before he would have a major fight. So like for instance, he might have 2 or 3 fights before he would have the big fight that he had needed to have, whether it's to get in shape, get small, or whatever, right? One thing about this guy, he would train no matter what. He was a dog when it comes to training himself. So it didn't matter if he was out with his harem. It didn't matter if he had his big team with him and he was moving through. He had his pizzazz and style and skill and stuff. It didn't matter because this dog would train religiously, like Floyd did. So Floyd copied certain things off of Sugar Ray Robinson. That's why they say Sugar Ray Robinson paved the way for Floyd. You hear, Sugar Ray Robinson say how he's painting a portrait and that he doesn't really like boxing. Floyd would say the same thing. He'd echo those sentiments. He was using Sugar Ray Robinson's blueprint, pretty much. So a lot of what Sugar Ray Robinson, that's why you pay attention. Floyd said, I'm going to be the best ever. I'm going to be better than Sugar Ray Robinson. He was saying that because he's actually copying things that Sugar Ray Robinson did in his career, applying it to his career. The difference was Floyd didn't do a whole bunch of stay busy fights, right? But if you really pay attention, down to their KO ratios are similar. Down to their KO ratios are similar. So Floyd was basically copying Sugar Ray Robinson's blueprint. He wasn't as tall as Sugar Ray Robinson, but again, he had about the same reach as Sugar Ray Robinson. So there's a lot of things Floyd implements and does is really things that Sugar Ray Robinson did and implemented. Right? They didn't have the same style of boxing, that's for sure. And the funny thing about, if you look at Sugar Ray Robinson was Walter Smith Jr., right? Floyd is Floyd Mayweather Jr. You know what I'm saying? You get it, So there's a lot of things they had in common. Even though Sugar Ray Robinson had a different style to Floyd, he has a different style to Floyd and stuff. And career-wise, Sugar Ray Robinson made some decisions and stuff, and you can see that his decisions and stuff is stuff that Floyd ends up copying in his career. So I'm just saying. So that's why I said, when you look at the past greats, now I demystified Sugar Ray Robinson a bit for you guys, and this is a long video. But when you look at the past greats, they laid the foundation for us. That's why I got to respect Sugar Ray Robinson as a fighter. I have to applaud him because he was a black fighter, first of all, and he made mad money off of boxing. Dude used to get mad purses and he would dictate what he wanted. Because the nice thing about Sugar Ray Robinson was that even though he had a manager, he decided he was in control of his own damn career. You know what I'm saying? He may have had a promoter, but he wasn't playing that. And he did not merge himself with the mafia, with the mob, so he didn't have any allegiance to them, so he didn't have to worry about that. So he was kind of like a free guy like Floyd Mayweather again. So I'm just showing you how much they have in common, right? And so he was able to dictate what he wanted to do in his career, etc., etc. Because he was the dude. He was the dude. He was the pay-per-view star. Let's put it that way. He was the attraction. So he, as the A side, motherfucker was like, hey, look, there ain't gonna be no fight if you don't pay me what I'm worth. I love that about him. So there's a lot to Sugar Ray Robinson a lot of people don't know, and those other aspects of Sugar Ray Robinson, Floyd emulated that. He took from that blueprint and he brought it forward. All right, that's why Floyd would be nothing without Sugar Ray Robinson. So if you want to call Sugar Ray Robinson the original pound for pound motherfucking fighter of the world, hands down, we got to respect that. I would never call him pound for pound number one in the world now. No, of all time, I would never call him that. But the one thing you cannot deny him, you cannot deny Sugar Ray Robinson he's the guy that inspired Pound for Pound. All right, him and another guy in the 30s. I forgot what his name is right now. Little white dude that came from the ghettos, a Jewish dude. Yeah, it'll come to me. Beautiful to watch too. But yeah, Sugar Ray Robinson, man, pound for pound, you can't take that from him, and that's just a fact. Right? The guy inspired people to say, because they'd never seen nothing like this motherfucker. This motherfucker could dance in the ring. This motherfucker had long arms, yet he was throwing body shots from way out. Nobody had seen that shit before. And fast. He was long, he was fast, it was slick. Nobody had seen that shit before like that. You know what I mean? He brought swag. What we call swag now. He brought swag to motherfucking boxing. And this is stuff, and then Ali took it to the next level, and then Sugar Ray Leonard took it to the next level. And then Roy Jones Jr. took it to the next level. You know what I'm saying? You know, Floyd was more textbook. He tried, you know what I'm saying? But he had swag. Floyd tried to have swag and stuff, but Floyd don't really fit into swag. He's more of a, you know, he tried to be a mobster now and all that shit, but Floyd tried, but I mean, when he talks swag, like people like, ugh. And even now, Floyd influences a generation of people in a certain kind of way, right? But when you talk about like Sugar Ray Robinson, when Jazz used to play and shit, he had the swag, man. He had his little people entourage that used to follow him and shit. You know what I mean? Like Floyd copied that too. You know. I'm just saying, people. You gotta understand, Sugar Ray Robinson he brought a breath of fresh air to boxing. He brought entertainment to fucking boxing. He knocked out a dude, come out the ring, and have that swag, baby. You know, all the women loved him. They wanted a piece of Sugar Ray Robinson. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? He had that swag, baby. That's what he brought to the game. I'm not saying that Jack Johnson didn't bring that to the game. Jack Johnson was a master pimp. He was a pimp. He was a pimp exponentially. Right? You know what I mean? A white woman loved him. It was like, oh man, I gotta get me some Jack Johnson. You know what I mean? But he was one of the original pimps. Of course, most black fighters were, you know, they had that swag. People desired them. That was another reason, because the white fighters. Why? I mean, come on now. It was supposed to be a man's sport, boxing, and then these black fighters come in and they make it seductive. They make it slick. They make it smooth. They make it sexy. They make it swag-like. They brought the fucking swag to boxing, right? The white fighters, there was some of them slick and stuff, but not quite like that. You think of a black boxer. Usually people come to mind, black American boxer, they think of slick, and just the way how black people, especially black American people, care about themselves. There's a beauty to it. You know, you look at Barack Obama, the man just, you know, he's got that swag in him. You know what I'm saying? He got that little rhythm in him, you know, that shit. And so, just imagine how intimidated the white male was back then of black fighters. It was a nightmare. It would be a nightmare for a white fighter to get his ass beat by a slick black fighter. But then the tide turned with Jack Johnson when he won the heavyweight championship of the world. It turned. It was turning all the time. Joe Gans was there. But I mean, it turned completely when the premier division, the heavyweight division, changed. So that people in the 1950s and 60s celebrated Sugar Ray Robinson was a black fighter. And that was rare. You know, we had Joe Louis, who was from Detroit, but he wasn't necessarily, he didn't really have swag. They stripped him off his swag, right? He was just straightforward, blah, 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 blah. You know, he did his thing, he left, right? You didn't really feel that black culture. And motherfucking Sugar Ray Robinson came from Harlem, swag capital of the world. You know what I mean? So he had that swag about him. And so a lot of people, you know, actually he came from Detroit, but from the Midwest, but he took residence in Harlem, right? My point anyway is that Sugar Ray Robinson brought that, and that's why they call him Sugar. You know, sweet. It's beautiful to watch. You know, and that's where the sugar thing came from after that. Of course, there was other sugar peoples. There was a guy called Sugars and all that. But my point anyway is he was sweet to watch. Right? And that's why those old timers, they can't get over Sugar Ray Robinson. It's kind of like, you know, those people who can't get over Michael Jordan. His hang time, just with the swag he had, the way how he would take the ball and carry it in space and move it different places through a whole bunch of defense. He'd crack that defense and get by them. They loved that. Kobe Bryant was still too. Michael Jordan was elastic and organic. Kobe Bryant was sort of more mechanical. It was good, but it was mechanical. You know, even today, a lot of the basketball players are mechanical, and they don't have a lot of hang time. They jump, but they don't have a lot of hang time. So, Jordan brought something extra to the game of boxing. The game of basketball, just like how Sugar Ray Robinson brought something to boxing that people had never seen before. Floyd Mayweather also brought something to boxing that people hadn't seen before. The slickness, the skill, the quickness, and that shit. But he wasn't the first to do it. Sugar Ray Robinson was the first to do it. And that's what or at least the first to show to the white community what was up. I mean, Jack Johnson did it too. I mean, Jack Johnson would stand right in front of you, and you not hitting nothing but arms and air. It was fucking slick, alright? It was tall too. Big, tall, slick dude. You know what I mean? Oh, God. People talk about Jack Johnson. I've seen footage of Jack Johnson. It's not very impressive. But they just couldn't hit him, though. You know what I mean? There was a lot of clinching and stuff. But they just couldn't hit the motherfucker. And that's the kind of thing that I liked about Jack Johnson. You know, he'd be laughing all the time while he's fighting the dudes. There's literally footage of this shit, okay? So you can go ahead and watch it. It wasn't super great. Like, I'm pretty sure Muhammad Ali would have beat his ass, okay? But, you know, because it's different. Again, different era of boxing. People knew a certain amount of boxing, and that was what it was. Muhammad Ali's era was a little bit different. Nonetheless, the point is that, you know, swag. Jack Johnson brought swag to boxing, and it disappeared for a while because the white people was like, fuck you. You be taking a woman. They want to be with you. Fuck you. That was what the white man was saying. They're like, protect the wives from the black man. He's coming to get us. I don't know what it is, man. Look, I'm black, you know, and I don't understand. Like, some people are just intimidated just by seeing me. I'm like, what the fuck, man? Where you? I'm one of the guys that I wouldn't do you nothing, man. I'm not that kind of dude. You know what I'm saying? And they be just holding their children, carrying them to the side of the car. I'm like, what the fuck? You know, I never understood the fear of a black person. I never understood that. Because for me, I guess it's what they put out in the media, that we're all gangsters and stuff, and we're not educated or some shit like that. I don't know what it is. But there's this visceral fear of a black person that I never quite understood. Why are you afraid of me? You shouldn't be afraid of me. What? I'm just a person like you. I'm a human being. You know what I'm saying? Never understood that shit. But, and what's the problem with dating a white person? You know, you're a black person, you're dating a white person. Still to this day, there's like this apprehension, like I have some big dick or something. You know what I'm saying? I don't. But I'm just saying, it's like, what are you afraid of? Uh-oh, once you go black, you will not come back. I'm like, what the fuck? No, it has nothing to do with that. You know, but most people, because they look at black people as having timing and skill and singing and all of that shit, it's desirable. Look at rap is killing the world right now, right? R&B is killing the world. I mean, techno and all that shit that's coming up is now a mixture of black music. It always is, right? Jazz is in everything, right? There's something about what black people have created that gives to the world that influences the world. We color the world. We make the world swag-like. We make the world enjoyable. It's just what it is, right? White folk are good at calibrating things, and a lot of them are very creative. You know, a lot of them borrow from black ideas. And it's all good. Everybody got their role. I love it. You know what I'm saying? And there's nothing wrong with, like, I know I'm talking to white folk as well. out there. Look, man, I don't know how to say this. I love everybody. You know what I mean? And when it comes to people's strengths, and again, we're stereotyping right now. We're talking about black folk, and we're talking about white folk, but there's all kinds of black folk. There's all kinds of white folk, right? So this is a stereotype right now I'm talking. But I look at white people, they're so fucking precise. Listen, we need to get out of here and reach down there for 8 o'clock. That means we need to leave at 7 on the dot. They're very fucking precise, and I love that. You know, because a black person, not all, I'm stereotyping, is not fucking precise. Cooking a meal, white person, you need to have 2 cups of flour, 3 teaspoons of this. A black person be like, it's what I feel. I just take a couple shakes, I throw it in there. I just mix it up to put the chicken in. You know what I'm saying? It's not precise at all, but yet it's a feeling to go by, and it tastes great. You know what I mean? And there's times when you need precision. You need to be on time for things, or you need precision. You need chronos. White people, man, I love how precise they are with certain things, and it makes it so very predictable. And the predictability is comforting because you can fall into a routine. And another thing I love about white people is how they simplify things, especially in America. They would take a very complex concept that initially you just can't understand, and they would just find the simplest fucking way to explain it. Not European people. They try to find the most fucked up, complicated way to explain something. But when it comes to the American white people, they can explain something so nicely to you that once you finish hearing it, it's like, fuck, I know what to do. And you're so much more relaxed and at peace, you know, with that. And I love that about them. So, and I even like Middle Americans because they teach values in such a beautiful way. They have a poetic way of doing things. You know, white people who are country folk, they have a poetic way of doing things. So that's why I always said that, in my opinion, just in my opinion, the different races or the different cultures of people bring to the table some beautiful things that I personally, you know, enjoy. You know. So I'm just saying all of this so that you guys will understand that Sugar Ray Robinson was very important to boxing. All right, and quite frankly, he brought to the boxing plate a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff. He wowed people in so many different ways. He wasn't just a slick boxer. He was a slick boxer with power, and he was willing to get you out of there if he had to. So, you know, he could be merciless in the ring, but he was a nice guy outside the ring, more or less. Even though he had an attitude and everything like that, he was a nice guy. This guy would be generous with his money. He would have his entourage get whatever, the best or whatever. He also invested in non-profit organizations to help better his community and stuff like that. So he's like, Floyd Mayweather kind of like copied that shit. You know what I mean? Liked his money, liked his women, went to the, he went to the strip clubs and shit. That was Sugar Ray Robinson. He invested in the strip clubs and shit like that. Floyd Mayweather did the same. So, the criticisms that Floyd Mayweather got, guess what? Sugar Ray Robinson got the same criticism. Yeah. Right? So, I'm just saying, so that you guys will understand, because you guys, worship these guys, but you don't really know who they are, what their life was like, who they were, But, there's a lot of shit that goes into it when you talk about these dudes. And then they start to feel like real people. And then you realize why guys like Mayweather basically just copying them. You know what I mean? Mayweather copied Roy Jones Jr. in terms of the Mayweather versus what's his name? Conor McGregor fight, right? Because it was Muhammad Ali did something like that, but not MMA, because there was an MMA around. But Roy Jones Jr. wanted to do the Anderson Silva versus him fight. That's what he wanted. He wanted to make that happen. So Floyd took what Roy was doing. Roy was the guy that started bringing back entertainment to boxing, the entrances and all that shit. It's Roy who started that shit, and Floyd copied that. Roy was the guy who was called Captain Hook, and was throwing those fucking hooks, Floyd copied that. So, I mean, I'm not saying Floyd didn't know how to throw hooks. He did, but he liked it, and he liked what Roy was doing, so he stopped jabbing and just threw the left hook instead. So, yeah, so I'm just saying that when you take Floyd would copy a lot of things that other guys would do to pave the way, and he would be successful at it, right? He'd be successful at it. So, you know, I'm just saying that a lot of people don't understand these things. You know, when Floyd talked about the Mayweather defense, that's the Michigan defense, all right, that he mastered. And that been around forever, right? So it's not like, but he mastered it in a certain kind of way. So that you can't just say, oh, the Michigan defense or the shoulder roll or whatever, the Philly shell, whatever. It was mastered a certain kind of way. So Floyd added a whole set of other elements to that. And it's not his bread and butter. He can abandon the Michigan defense and use other defenses because he has other things. But he built the other guards around that Michigan defense. See what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's what I got to say for now. A lot of stuff I wanted to say, but let me get back to Manny Pacquiao now, because I was in depth with Sugar Ray Robinson. I wanted you guys to understand. I don't hate Sugar Ray Robinson. I'm not trying to shit on his legacy or none of that shit. I'm just giving you guys the real on Sugar Ray Robinson. I advise you guys to go do your homework on Sugar Ray Robinson. It's a very intriguing story. Sugar Ray Robinson's entire story is extremely intriguing, very interesting. All right, and not only that, but you know, people glorify Sugar Ray Robinson, put him up on this pedestal, and it's very fucking annoying when I see people ignore a whole set of other things that were going on and just heap praise on the dude. You know, I don't like that. It's stupid. It's not. Let me be real with you guys. The real Sugar Ray Robinson story is much more exciting and intriguing than what they're giving you. Let's put it that way. It's a lot more fun. It's just like the Floyd Mayweather story. It's very intriguing. All right? I'm just saying. Because they talk about, Jose Luis Castillo beat Floyd Mayweather. You know, they talk about Marcus Maidana beat Floyd Mayweather. But he rematched them immediately, right? Sugar Ray Robinson, there's a bunch of guys, we could argue the people of the day said he did not win those fights. Nobody talks about that. See what I'm saying? But the fun part about it is seeing that history is repeating itself. It's just that some fucking historian or some fucking purist decided to leave out that information. You see what I'm saying? And just praise this guy, you know. And the same shit will happen with Floyd Mayweather. Give it a little time, 10, 12 years, and they're going to put him up on this pedestal, and they're going to do the same shit to some young fighter that's coming up that's really good, and they're going to say, nah, see, Floyd Mayweather was poetry, and blah, 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 and wasn't defeated, and blah, blah, blah. And they're going to make him look like he's some great god out there that's unattainable. Because that's what mythos does. When you make a person mythical, but you got to cut through that bullshit. Now, demythicize this person and see what really the real story was. And believe you me, the real story is a lot more fun than the mythical story. And all day. It's a lot more fun. Because when you see these people as people, then you see how history has been repeating itself over and over again. You know who used to smack talk like a motherfucker? He used to smack talk like a motherfucker. He was a short guy, about 5'6". He was a heavyweight. Oh, he moved up to heavyweight. And that motherfucker used to smack talk like crazy. He would beat your ass and be talking to you while he's beating your ass. I'm going to tell you who that guy is just now. Hold on. Because I forgot his name. I think Beats and Rhymes, Boxing Beats and Rhymes, talks about him a lot. He's sold on that dude. It's a black fighter. I just can't remember his name right off the top of my head. Every now and then I blank out. It's been such a while before I talked about these guys. It was great though to talk about them. I love it. ESPN did an article on him actually. reason they always show you the same. The greatest fighter almost nobody knows. That's the dude. And again, the reason is because he was a sensation in his time, but the reason this guy's not known so well, it is Sam fucking Langford. Sam fucking Langford. See this motherfucker, boy? I actually saw him. I had footage of him, right? Well, I think I got rid of it, but this motherfucker, they said that this motherfucker used to smack talk outside the ring and inside the ring. They were doing like if Muhammad Ali was the king of smack talk. Fuck no. These black fighters used to talk shit. They used to trash talk each other all the time. But like Langford got an opportunity to fight some of the people who were white fighters. You know. And so that motherfucker used to smack talk, like real smack talk, like really trying to back the shit up. And he could box a little bit. He was more a front foot boxer, but he could box on the right foot too. You know. So I'm just saying that, you know, people do it as if this, you know, Floyd Mayweather, you know, Roy Jones Jr. Talk too much. You know, people like Shane Mosley. Look, man, trash talking didn't start today. That's what most I can tell you. Trash talking did not start today. Sam Langford, you know, I mean, Harry Wills used to beat his ass, but I'm gonna say this though, and they used to talk shit to one another sometimes. This shit didn't start yesterday. You know, the black mouth and the black. No, and Muhammad Ali just brought what was already there to light. You know, and Muhammad Ali blew it up big. He had a world stage, so he blew it up big to show people what black people actually say behind closed doors. You know what I'm saying? He started bringing the smack out. And he still didn't do it, you know, he didn't curse and stuff. But, you know, Langford, man, see, people don't know these things. There's a reason why Sam Langford never got shot at the heavyweight title like that. And there was a reason why, like, he wouldn't be able to really face a lot of, I think he fought Fireman Jim or something like that. I can't remember the guy's name. And beat his ass. But, you know, and, hey, Langford didn't miss a beat with a motherfucker. He'd be standing there watching, he just pounce on you. He's like, very explosive. He was kind of flat-footed, but he was explosive, you know, and crashing your ass and shit. Yeah. People don't know about that shit, though. They don't know about it. And it's sad because, like, that's what I'm trying to say, you know. And then there's these other guys that go to the next fucking extreme and like, Langford was the greatest heavyweight ever and blah. And like, shut the fuck up, man. You know, I'm tired of that bullshit, you know. Just be real. Let's hear the stories. People don't know about that shit. That Langford used to talk smack nonstop. Motherfucker used to get in the ring and smack talk you down. He'd be like, you ain't shit. Back in the day, you know, when people didn't used to, you know, the average person never used to curse and stuff. Oh, actually they did. People would curse and throw things. And there's another thing. It was rowdy back then. They used to have police in there because, you know, if a guy beat another guy's ass, right, and the crowd didn't like it, man, they start throwing bottles and shit at you. It was wild back then. It was some wild days, man. It ain't so no more. I mean, it's tempered. I mean, I remember when Reagan beat Yonita Donaire and they threw stuff in the ring. But like I'm saying, the crowd would boo, and they would like, if not, they'd jump into the ring and start beating up the fighter. Yeah, the police escort and shit. Look, man. It was rowdy back then. Oh, I'm not gonna lie to you. Boxing was a big thing because it was like nobody had nothing else to do at that time. So it was either making babies or boxing and work. So like boxing was like the super series. It was better. It was bigger than baseball and shit. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, people were very passionate about their boxing. So, I mean, there's a lot of things, man. You guys, you need to go back and really dig deep into these stories because it's very fascinating how primitive boxing was, where it came from. I always told people MMA, you know, is boxing. Boxing was first MMA. You could use your hands, your feet. It was like a free-for-all. You beat the guy down. You could even use weapons. That shit was wild. And then they started doing bare knuckle brawls, and even then it was wild. you could still choke people and tackle them on the ground and shit, you know. So they finally got the boxing gloves together. Boxing was wild, I'm telling you, man. It was wild. It came from, you know, it was a free for all. It was like street fighting. Boxing started off as street fighting. It was like whatever, and then people started getting killed and shit. So they started forming rules. Now, to be fair though, boxing degraded over time because back in Egypt they used to box. They actually used to box, right? That's why black people probably so good, so fucking good at boxing. But yeah, they used to box back in Egypt. But and then the Greeks, and they took it over and shit, and then they had gladiator fights, and then it de-evolved into this kind of caveman shit where it used to be street fighting, and then it started to evolve back into boxing again. So it had its ups and downs, right? So what they call an MMA, it was really boxing. That's where boxing come from, its roots, and then it came back to being what it is today, much more refined and much more of a sport. It is a blood sport, but it's much more than that, and so on and so on and so on. So boxing has evolved quite a lot from back then in the primitive days. And even the crowd and their behavior and everything has evolved over time. So now we have movie stars go in. People don't really necessarily have fights in the stands and that shit. They still have it every now and then. But people are not as rowdy as they used to be, and then it's now something where countries go against countries and all that shit. It's very global now, right? And there's literally a format to boxing now, you know. And it wasn't so initially. All right, so it used to be a dude in the street, another dude challenged another dude in the street, or there's a guy, a gypsy, moving around, you know, and people would challenge the gypsy to fight, and the gypsy would just fight their ass. Right, that's why you hear Tyson Fury talk about, you know, they're gypsies. They're the gypsy king and that shit, because gypsies you travel from place to place, and some of the gypsies would be with circuses. Some gypsies would be like, all right, I'm a strong man. You want to fight me? Some of the gypsies would just, you know, take punishment and show that they were strong. Other gypsies were like, all right, let's scrap it out, motherfucker. You know, so it was that kind of thing was going on. So. Yeah, boxing, man. It's awesome. It's it's just awesome to talk about boxing, right? Back to Manny Pacquiao. My assertion was, and this is a very long video, that Manny Pacquiao was better than Sugar Ray Robinson in terms of consistency of top tier opposition, in terms of how the weight classes he won in, and the length of time he was a world champion at welterweight. All right. Another like the amount of championship fights he had at welterweight. So let me just go back to Sugar Ray Robinson. We know he won 6 welterweight fights. Let's see how many middleweight fights he won. 1, eh? Not participated in 1. So let's see. We have here 1 right here. 2. This is the partial middleweight title. I'll take it. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, so he had 8 middleweight championship fights he won, and he had 6 welterweight championship fights he won. Again, championship fights don't really mean shit, but he had better competition at middleweight. So Jake LaMotta was a good fighter. His other championship fights, I think, were Bobo Olsen mostly. Randy Turpin wasn't anything special, so we'll bypass him. No disrespect to Randy Turpin, by the way. Rocky Graciano, he was good. He has a reputation. I think his other fights were against Bobo Olsen. Yeah. Bobo Olsen right here. And then Gene Fuhrman was a beast. So I give him for Gene Fuhrman. Carmen Basilio was too small. I don't know why. He was a good fighter though. He was a great fighter. So that's basically it. All right. So Carmen Basilio, Gene Fulmer, Bobo Olson, Rocky Graciano, and Jake LaMotta. Those are the guys that made him. Really, I think his career really was made off of that. Not so much what he did at welterweight, even though he had what 2 or 3 welterweights about good. He had who were the welterweights? Kid Gavilan, that was good. Devin was a good welterweight. Kid Gavilan and Bernard DeCosin was a good welterweight. Yeah, that's about it really. Jimmy Doyle was a good welterweight too. Tommy Bell was alright. So yeah, he had 4 of them here. That was good. That was good. I don't know why Chuck Taylor got the fight though. I don't understand that. All right, let's look at Manny Pacquiao. So we took an exhaustive look at Sugar Ray Robinson, and this is what I'm talking about. Now Manny Pacquiao, he ended up facing a number of people. Didn't really matter. Got knocked out by Toro Campo, and then he became flyweight champion. He became flyweight champion here. He beat the man. He beat the lineal flyweight champion, Chuck Vivat, or whatever the fuck that is. Oh shit, no, that's not the name. Chachai Sasaku up here. Sorry, my bad. Alright, so here it is. He beat this dude. And soundly. After he won, he's now a world champion, right? He's now a world champion. He's got what? I don't know how many fights he had. 16 fights, maybe 17 fights before he became world champion. It took him a while in 1995. He had a bunch of fights. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. 21 fights, okay? 21 fights. He did not fight the level of competition that Sugar Ray Robinson faced before he became world champion. So this is a big asterisk right there. After he became world champion, 22, 23, 24, 25. Okay, it's 25 fights. He definitely did not face the level of competition at all. No former world champions, all that shit. Before he faced Chachai Sasaku. Okay, that's a given. So you can put that notch on Sugar Ray Robinson's list. Sugar Ray Robinson faced some really good fighters in that respect. Having said that, after he became world champion, here's what happened. He had a stay busy fight against Tom Macklin. He should never have faced this dude. But after that, he faced Gabriel Mira, who was a good boxer, and clearly he was because he had a title shot. Alright? Gabriel Mira. I'm going to show you why I say he was a good boxer. So, Manny Pacquiao beat him here. And, okay, he's beaten. Right, he loses one fight, and then it's done with his career. But the point is, he was an alright fighter, man. Look at that. He had some losses there. He was an alright fighter. Okay? He wasn't a good fighter. He wasn't a good fighter, but he was an alright fighter. Alright, good. After that, he goes on to face Bonsai Sanskrit. So he defended his title successfully once, then he gets his ass knocked out by Bonsai Sanskrit. Okay? And Bonsai Sanskrit, besides he was over the flyweight limit because he was overweight, so he was kind of dehydrated. Bonsai Sanskrit didn't do a whole lot with his career after that, but fought a lot of fucking fights though. Alright, so Bonsai Sanskrit stopped Manny Pacquiao, which I think was the highlight of his career. Shit, where is that now? What year was that? 1999. And so he won the WBC flyweight title. Where is that? Oh, there it is. So he won the WBC flyweight title here, and he defended it successfully once. Then he got his ass knocked out, and that was it. So he was after that he never got a chance to be to face any flyweight anything after that. Got knocked out again. Oh, okay. So he had the Asian version of the title. He had the Asian version of the title. He held it for a while and get knocked out. Some dude. Oh, he still had the title. And basically he kept on having the title and defending it quite successfully for a little while. He went to Japan, get his ass knocked out again. And he went on to fight. Then he tried to get the Latino title. He got knocked out again. Every time he stepped up, he got knocked out. Every time he went to Japan, he got knocked out. All right, so he wasn't a great fighter, but at least he was world champion. All right, a little bit. Oh my gosh. Anyway, so he wasn't. He did his thing. Right? I guess he never got the opportunity to be a flyweight champion again. WBC flyweight champion. We tried. So he won bad, right? And then he faced. He won the super bantamweight title against a guy called Renyate Jamili. All right. Obviously, this is the international super bantamweight title. Okay, it's not the super bantamweight title. So he faced that guy, who's a good fighter. Then he faced this dude. Then he faced another guy. But they not on the level of what Sugar Ray Robinson is, but they're not stay busy fights, so that's good. Then he faced Nadal Hassan. This is where he kind of stepped up his game. This was a fantastic fight. Nadal Hassan, because he got his eye cut and stuff and was going into his eye, they had to stop the fight. It was a good ass fight. He knocked down Pacquiao. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. So that was a good fight. Then he had some guy from Philippines who I just consider a stay busy fight. Then this other one here is another stay busy. No, it's just not a stay busy fight. This is a good fight. Actually, you know what? These two fights are good fights because I just realized they were for titles. All right. Then, because he did so well in these two fights and got rid of those two guys, he got a fight with Leo Laduaba on Showtime and the MGM Grand in Las Vegas. Last minute change to face Leo Laduaba. And he stops Leo Laduaba. He's a good boxer. All right? IBF champion. Beats his ass. All right? Goes on to unify with Agapito Sanchez, who is the WBO Super Bantamweight champion. Agapito Sanchez was very dirty, so it ended up being a draw. And then he went on to face Jorge Elicio Ulio and defended his title successfully, knocking him down and knocking him out. He then goes on to face a stay busy fight in Prayat San Juan Hing or whatever the fuck that name is. It's not a stay busy fight because as you can see it's mandated, but I just don't think the dude was any match for him. He stopped him in the first round. And then again another one. This is not a championship fight at all, so this is a stay busy fight. Then he fights Emmanuel Lucero, who's a good fighter, and he stops him. He was undefeated. Then he faces Marco Antonio Barrera. Alright? So, stay busy, but then after that. Now, from here on in, there probably would be. Nope. There is no stay busy fights. Watch this. So, Juan Manuel Marquez. No grit, pure round. This is for eliminator for the IBF featherweight title. Eric fucking Morales, who beats his ass. Hector Velasquez for the WBC International Super Featherweight title. Eric Morales, he faces him, he beats him this time. Oscar Larios is a good fighter, again for a title belt. Eric Morales again KOs his ass. Jorge Solis, again for the international title. He's defending Marco Antonio Barrera. Again, it's the second time. Juan Manuel Marquez, legendary. He gets the win over him. David Diaz, he moves up to lightweight. David Diaz is who he faces, the world champion. Beats him. Jumps up to welterweight, faces Oscar De La Hoya. And I mean, you're not going to find no stay busy fights from here on in. Ricky Hatton, Miguel Cotto, Joshua Clottey, Antonio Margarita, Shane Mosley, Juan Manuel Marquez. I mean, these are just fucking studs. Timothy Bradley, Juan Manuel Marquez. Brandon Rios is the weakest link here. He's not a stay busy. Timothy Bradley, Chris Algieri, Floyd Mayweather, Timothy Bradley, Jesse Vargas, Jeff Horn. This is a weak link here again. Lucas Martin Matisse and fucking Adrian Broner. No freaking stay busy fights in between. This motherfucker be fighting. Now, of course, he's fighting every year, obviously. And he's fighting a couple months every year. But the point is, no freaking stay busy fights. Very consistent from the point when he reached featherweight. Very consistent. Only top tier opposition. All right. In fact, when he was super bantamweight, after his flyweight career, once he reached super bantamweight, that was it. The other point, Sugar Ray Robinson, even though he started at super featherweight, won titles at welterweight and at middleweight. Tried to win a title at light heavyweight, didn't. Manny Pacquiao, just going by old school rules, we're looking at featherweight, we're looking at lightweight, we're looking at middleweight, we're looking at welterweight. Sorry, he won titles at featherweight. No, he didn't win a title at featherweight. He won a title at flyweight, freaking flyweight. Then he won a title at lightweight. Then he won a title against good opposition. Won a title at welterweight. That's 3 fucking divisions to just 2 divisions by Sugar Ray Robinson. Even Floyd Mayweather only has 2 full divisions, which will be welterweight. No. Yes, welterweight and lightweight, because he never won a featherweight title, right? He only has 2, like Sugar Ray Robinson. So when you think about it, Manny Pacquiao has accomplished more in that respect. And when you look at not just the level of competition and the known names, when you look at what also Manny Pacquiao is doing at the end of his career compared to Sugar Ray Robinson, Manny Pacquiao at 40, Sugar Ray Robinson at 40. What are you seeing? Like Sugar Ray Robinson's still fighting championship fights, but again, he was also fighting some really funky characters. Imagine Manny Pacquiao facing those funky characters, right? That's 2 points. 3, most important. Manny Pacquiao, if he lost to a fighter, or if he had a close fight with a fighter, he would rematch the dude. Sugar Ray Robinson would comprehensively beat a guy's ass, and come back in, beat that guy's ass. He would fight a guy like 4 or 5 times and beat their ass almost every time. And he'd still go back and fight him. Whereas other fighters, which gave him tough fights, pay attention, except for Holly Mims and Jose Pessoa and some other guys, he wouldn't come back and see them. He never went back and saw George Abrams. Never. He ain't playing that. Once was enough. Alright? I thought that was interesting. Floyd Mayweather. If you got a close fight with me, I'm going to rematch you immediately. I was Floyd Mayweather. Manny Pacquiao would try to do that too. In fact, he's still searching for the Floyd fight. You beat my ass, okay, I want to get back. I want to get back one on you. So if you look at Manny Pacquiao's career, he didn't get to rematch Jeff Horn. He wants to, but he didn't get to. He wants to rematch Floyd Mayweather. He hasn't gotten the opportunity. He beat Juan Marquez a number of times, but he would love to get a rematch with Marlon Marquez. Timothy Bradley got the rematch to beat him. Eric Morales, he got the rematch to beat Eric Morales, right? Bonsai Sanskrit, that's stupid. He couldn't do that. He couldn't make weight. Unless Bonsai Sanskrit was going to go up to bantamweight, Pacquiao could do nothing about that. So he couldn't get back on that one. And he never got to get back on Rustico Toro Campo. And the reason being this. Alright, so let's see. Somewhere here. He beat Pacquiao. There it is. So he got the win off of Pacquiao here. And 2 fights later, his ass is getting beat. And he's getting beat. And his career ends being beaten up. Right? So he didn't get to get back on Rustico Toro Campo. He would have probably wanted it, but he couldn't get it. So Pacquiao was a dude, if you beat his ass, or if the fight is close, he want to get back. He want to get you back for that. You know what I'm saying? Sugar Ray Robinson isn't necessarily that case. Sugar Ray Robinson's like, squeak by this guy, I don't want to ever see him again. Right? So that's why I said Pacquiao, when you look at Pacquiao's resume and what Pacquiao did, yeah, he got less fights than Sugar Ray Robinson, so what? Pacquiao only rematch your ass if it was a close fight between you and him. You know what I mean? And so, just in terms of the resume of Manny Pacquiao and the accomplishments of Manny Pacquiao, he trumps Sugar Ray Robinson right there. That's why I said he's better than Sugar Ray Robinson with respect to that. Alright? And so, anybody who's listening to this video and has reached this far into the video, And now this would be a dumb time to say it, but you can speed up the video. You can go to 2 times or 1.5 times on YouTube. And from future videos, if they're really long like this, you can just listen through the video by speeding it up. In that respect, nobody can tell me I'm wrong that Manny Pacquiao is better than Sugar Ray Robinson when it comes to consistency of the level of opposition. Manny Pacquiao, since he was super bantamweight, have been consistently facing guys who are contenders or top tier people, champions or contenders or people at the top, right? Can't say that for Sugar Ray Robinson. He had stay busy fights in between, so he wasn't very consistent in terms of that. We know why he had stay busy fights in between, kind of like Roberto Duran, but the point is, he did. And some of them stay busy fights gave him hell, right? The other thing that I find amazing, both Sugar Ray Robinson and Manny Pacquiao, 4 guys bigger than him, right? But here's the thing. Pacquiao, even at welterweight, because Sugar Ray Robinson, when he grew into middleweight, he was a bigger guy than some of those other guys, all right? But Manny Pacquiao, even at welterweight, is not a big welterweight. And he's performing at a very high level, even though he's not a full-fledged fucking welterweight. Not as Floyd, but Floyd's a little bigger than him. Longer than him, at least. Maybe not heavier. And the point is that that's a remarkable accomplishment in itself. That reminds me of guys like Henry Armstrong, right? Pacquiao's not outweighed by massive amounts like Floyd was. But the point is, Manny Pacquiao is doing the same thing that Henry Armstrong used to do. And Floyd, the same thing, too. Remarkable fighters, doing remarkable things that are just unheard of back in the day, right? Sugar Ray Robinson accomplished quite a lot. But again, he pales in comparison to those 2 dudes in respect to that. And you've got to say that they're better fighters than him in that respect. Here's another point that I want to raise. Again, nobody can dispute with me. A lot of people said, back in the day, you know, there was only 1 belt, 1 champion, which is bullshit, right? We all know that's not true. There were 2 belts. And there were 2 boxing organizations. The NBA, now known as the WBA, and the NYSAC, which is now known as the WBC. Alright? So you had to have those 2 belts to be undisputed champion. And Sugar Ray Robinson was able to do that by simply, when the 2 belts were available, getting 1 shot against Tommy Bell at welterweight, and then against Jake LaMotta at middleweight. So he didn't have to fight multiple fights to get the belts. Fucking Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather, on the other hand, had to fight multiple fights and do unifications to get those fucking belts together. And to me, that's harder work, which makes them better fighters, because they had to fight more people to get the belts. Whether it was Floyd Mayweather versus Zab Judah and Carlos Baldomir, or whether it was Floyd Mayweather versus Victor Ortiz, then Victor Ortiz, then Marcus McDonough, and then Manny Pacquiao, or whether it was Floyd Mayweather versus whether it was Floyd Mayweather versus Canelo, all right. No matter how you look at it, you had to get those 2 fucking belts. And usually, guys like Floyd, it was multiple fights they had to do to go get it. Right? When they had multiple belts. Manny Pacquiao is the same thing. He tried to do it multiple times. He failed sometimes. And I don't think he ever had multiple world titles. Manny Pacquiao. I don't think he had multiple. Floyd had multiple world titles in multiple divisions. It's fucking crazy at the same time. Alright. So anyway, the point is, when you look at their achievements over Sugar Ray Robinson's achievements, you can see why I'm saying and I'm making a case that they're better than Sugar Ray Robinson. But because we live in an age where everybody's pessimistic and negative and shit like that, I'm not saying that people weren't so back in Sugar Ray Robinson's time. People mystify Sugar Ray Robinson, and so now fucking Sugar Ray Robinson can get away with murder, and these guys are getting criticized and analyzed to the teeth. Pacquiao and Mayweather. Pacquiao's done shit that nobody in boxing has done. Alright? Dude's got 5 lineal titles in 5 different divisions, and 6 fucking world divisional titles. All right, 6. Okay, the only person to match that is Oscar De La Hoya. I don't count Thomas Hearns. Thomas Hearns was bullshit. IBO title ain't no title. Otherwise, if the IBO title is a title, then Manny Pacquiao got 7 fucking divisions. So fuck off. That's bullshit. Okay, so stop with the bullshit. Stop bullshitting people. All right. Thomas Hearns did not win 6 divisional world titles. He won 6. You can say he won 6 division titles, but not 6 divisional world titles. The IBO is not a fucking world recognized title that will give you the undisputed championship. So stop with the bullshit. All right. All right. So back to what I was saying. Yeah, Manny Pacquiao, he's done some incredible things. Oscar De La Hoya too, but I'm just saying, Manny Pacquiao has done some incredible things, fought some incredible fighters, fought them consistently. He had top tier opposition. Manny Pacquiao has won more divisional titles against some very good champions out there, and Hall of Famers as well. And then on top of that, Manny Pacquiao has consistently sought to get rematches with people that either beat him or had close fights with him. All right? Not unnecessary rematches because he needed somebody to face with a name, right? So I find all of these things superior to what Sugar Ray Robinson was doing. Sugar Ray Robinson had a lot of unnecessary fights, in my opinion. I know it was a different time, a different era. But for me to be able to... When you look at Manny Pacquiao's... Oh, I got one more thing. But I already made that point. When you look at Manny Pacquiao's 70 bouts, they carry more weight to me than Sugar Ray Robinson's 201 bouts. Just quite frankly. And then, remember, Manny Pacquiao had much more fights, which were 12-rounders, than Sugar Ray Robinson's fights, which were mostly 10-rounders. Now, it still ended quickly, but I don't know what point is. It's 10-rounders, right? So, people would say, well, we would love to see Manny Pacquiao pitted against Sugar Ray Robinson. Okay, no problem. If I'm thinking, I think, I'm gonna put it out on a limb. I think Manny Pacquiao, all right, okay? I think Manny Pacquiao gives Sugar Ray Robinson a tough fight, like Holly Mims did, like Kick Avalon did. I think he gives him a run for his money, quite frankly, all right? Because Pacquiao gonna get hit by Sugar Ray Robinson, that's for sure, all right? He gonna get hit. If he survives the hits, which he will, he's going to bring pressure to Sugar Ray Robinson in ways Sugar Ray Robinson's never felt. It's like saying Aaron Pryor versus Sugar Ray Robinson. Who wins that fight? Okay, Aaron Pryor can take a punch. So can Pacquiao. So, and as a southpaw Aaron Pryor versus Sugar Ray Robinson. That's a beautiful matchup. And guess who I have winning that fight? Aaron Pryor. That's right, because Sugar Ray Robinson get hit too much. He mightn't stop Sugar Ray Robinson. He definitely beat his ass, right? And if Aaron Pryor could do that to Sugar Ray Robinson, I'm not saying Manny Pacquiao is an Aaron Pryor like that, but he's a southpaw kind of version of Aaron. I say Manny Pacquiao could do it too. So I give Manny Pacquiao a good chance of beating Sugar Ray Robinson. I give him a good chance. And Sugar Ray Robinson's a long guy. He knows how to use them levers. He knows how to throw his jab and all that shit. You know, he would track down Manny Pacquiao. He'd catch him with some jabs and shit. I'm pretty sure about that. And he was kind of mobile towards the ring. So if Pacquiao's chasing him down, he know what to do to kind of, you know, check hook back Manny Pacquiao, turn him this way or turn him that way. So I see Sugar Ray Robinson very much possibly winning a fight against Manny Pacquiao, but you're gonna have to do it on the back motherfucking foot. He ain't gonna do it on the front. He's not doing it on the front foot. I can guarantee you that. He's gonna have to be. You that back. And Pacquiao's so fucking quick that, you know, Sugar Ray Robinson was fast, but Pacquiao was quick. So I don't know, man. I don't know. That would have been a good ass fight. I'm telling you. And I know Sugar Ray Robinson had difficulty with certain fighters. I'm telling you, man. Pacquiao would give him the Jones. Because Pacquiao stays low and then he catches you with certain shots that you don't normally catch. So again, in a fight against, I'm not saying Pacquiao will win. All right, I'm not guaranteeing a win for Pacquiao. Right? No disrespect to Pacquiao, but I fancy his chances against Sugar Ray Robinson. You know what I'm saying? Because Sugar Ray Robinson was a hooker. He did a lot of winging hooks. He threw them also low, like a kind of almost like a bowler punch. And you know, he was good. Don't get me wrong. I still fancy Pacquiao's chances. I know he would get caught with something. Because Pacquiao don't have the greatest defense in the world. But I know if Pacquiao gets caught with something, it's not easy to hit Pacquiao. It's kind of like the same thing with Aaron Pryor. Aaron Pryor rolls and moves his body with punches. And he stays just outside your range. So I see Pacquiao just darting in and landing a combination. Like I see Sugar Ray Robinson sometimes, right? He keeps his hands fucking down and pivots. Pacquiao was going to catch him with a 1-2 on the pivot, just like what he did with Shane Mosley, and drop him. He would drop his ass. He would drop his ass. You know, I see that happen. So, I was looking at, what's his name? Inui versus Payano. How that motherfucker caught Payano as Payano was pivoting out. It reminded me of when Pacquiao hit Chris Algieri, except that's the orthodox version to it. How he tapped him with he tagged him with the jab, that blinded shot, and he caught him on the chin as he's pivoting. That was so picture perfect, beautiful, man. Inui's a beast. He really does his homework. And Pacquiao, I can see Pacquiao catching just how he caught Shane Mosley, the same kind of punch that he knew he did just from the southpaw stance. And then the other thing is, I don't know how much southpaw Sugar Ray Robinson faced. It probably has a southpaw on Pacquiao's level. So that would be crazy too. So honestly, if I were to be fair, and then Sugar Ray Robinson, the other thing is Sugar Ray Robinson is a small welterweight. What I mean by that is they came in on fight day. Fight day, you got to weigh in. It was 147, probably rehydrate up to 150. That's around Pacquiao's weight. That motherfucker too small. You know, Pacquiao probably, you know, Robinson was in great shape and everything, but I see Pacquiao dropping his ass. You know, he know Floyd Mayweather like that, you know. And he didn't use the high guard. So motherfucker was going, he always keep his hands low. So motherfucker would have gotten tagged. You know, you got tagged and you get dropped. Get back up all stupefied and everything and try to really put the pressure on Pacquiao after that. Or clinch. So yeah, guys like Pacquiao and Aaron Pryor are interesting guys. I wanted to see Sugar Ray Leonard face Aaron Pryor. That never happened. I don't know why Leonard was bracing from Aaron Pryor, but it is what it is. All right, so Aaron Pryor would have given Sugar Ray Leonard all kinds of problems. All kinds of fucking problems. Because Aaron Pryor could take a punch, did not give a fuck, and will drop you. And had the skills to get in there and drop your ass. So I could understand why Sugar Ray Leonard wasn't having none of that. It was like, I don't care. Like, you're in another division. Just sit down and let the big boys talk. He was like not entertaining it at all. So I mean, Aaron Pryor was the shit. Floyd versus Aaron Pryor would have been an interesting fight, by the way. That would have been. I know Floyd loved Aaron Pryor. He'd tell you Aaron Pryor was one of his, you know, childhood heroes. And Floyd versus Aaron Pryor would have been a hell of a fight. Pacquiao versus Aaron Pryor would be a hell of a fight. You know, those are fights, man. It would make me salivate. I wish I could have seen fights like that, because that's Titanic. Aaron Pryor was a beast. Motherfuckers never stopped punching. You know, and you know, he had energy. You know, Sean Porter kind of reminds me of Aaron Pryor somewhat, but did not the kind of boxing skill Aaron Pryor had. And Aaron Pryor could switch from southpaw to orthodox, to try to drop a dime. He was very aggressive. And Pacquiao versus Aaron, that would have been a crazy ass fight, man. That would have been a crazy ass fight. I would have enjoyed that. Might have had multiple knockdowns in that fight too. That would have been a good ass fight. Anyways, man, that is the video. It's long. I don't care. It's cool. Leave your comments in the comment section if you reach to the end of this video. Remember, for future videos, all you have to do is speed it up and you can listen to it. 1.5 is a good speed. On that note, man, I talked at length. I don't know how many of you guys are actually going to listen or watch this video, but if you do, leave your comments in the comment section below. Don't forget you can donate to this channel, subscribe, invite your friends, spread the word. I was at length here. I enjoyed this video to the hilt. You guys have a great one.